As you know, last year, the safest decision was to not hold the Ohio State Fair. We instead celebrated virtually and have looked forward to a time when our staff, exhibitors, fairgoers, vendors, sponsors, and everyone who plays a crucial role in the Ohio State Fair could rejoin together at another Ohio State Fair. And we have been working closely with public health, like John brought up. We've been very thankful to the Columbus public health officials. Having them here has saved us, really, to have a contract with them. And as the first few events have started to occur on our property following the closure last March, carefully observing to see how many people attend and how we could safely manage our own events. We're optimistic about where our state will be as more and more Ohioans are vaccinated. And we know that public health orders will be lifted when the state reaches 50 cases per 100,000 Ohioans for a 2-week period, and that the recent order announced earlier this week will streamline our public health protocols and guidance. While that order allows groups of 10 to visit the fair together and maintain their distance, it also limits fixed seating indoors to 25% still, meaning no more than 2,500 people could attend concerts in our 10,000 seat Celeste Center. And while we are hopeful that we will soon be on the other side of this pandemic, the reality is that cases of COVID-19 remain high, and no one has a crystal ball to tell us how things will look in July. And I want to make sure nobody right on here has a crystal ball, because I'd really love to see it if you did. We've talked to our partners and our stakeholders about where things are this year, discussing the challenges and opportunities at hand. The challenges at this time seem to outnumber the opportunities. For example, staffing is difficult. Not only is our full-time staff severely limited at this time, we would normally be deep in preparations for the fair. As you know, the vast majority of our staff was reduced last August. Right now, there are 7 staff members still working at the Ohio Expo Center when we would normally have 60 permanent employees. As you know, our entire departments remain unstaffed. We also anticipate significant struggles to rebuild our seasonal staff of more than 600 people during a typical fair. We hire hundreds of people, as do our concessionaires selling food, our vendors in the buildings, and our carnival ride company. Across the board, we are hearing from them that it is increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to find employees right now. And I've heard from some of the fairs down in Florida even that they went out and tried to get 350 people and they only ended up with like 50. So that's how tough it is down in even Florida. Our financial position is rebounding due to the large part to the new contract for the stadium and the upfront $2 million payment. However, even with this boost, our financial position is still significantly lower than it would be when planning for a fair. This $2 million will help us to continue basic operations until non-fair events resume at their pre-COVID-19 levels. We do not set out to turn a huge profit on the fair. We never have. In recent years, expenses to put on the fair have been around $8.5 million, and revenue would fall a little below $9 million. That revenue has been based on our good selling concerts, supportive sponsors, and attendance of 900,000 people. And we have to keep that total up there to really be successful. There isn't a lot of margin for error when it comes to putting on an event to showcase Ohio and agriculture and bring Ohioans together for entertainment and education. We certainly expect that many Ohioans are ready to get out and attend events this summer. We also realize that many aren't, and that we would likely see a significant dip in attendance. With that dip in attendance, we would likely end up in the red. It remains important to monitor our out-of-state guests at the same time, whether they are vendors, entertainers, musicians, or exhibitors. To best protect all Ohioans, we need to limit our exposure, especially from those who have recently traveled from out of state into Ohio for our fair. That said, our roots are in agriculture, and we wanted to look at what it would take to significantly limit attendance along with the many typical aspects of the fair to provide a youth and senior livestock and educational event. We know that these youth work hard all year round on their projects, and we want to do what we can to give them the opportunity to show at the fair this summer. And I want them back here at the Ohio State Fair. We envision that this means there will be junior and open livestock shows, as well as some non-livestock judging. For example, we would work with 4-H and make sure that we have host to non-livestock judging projects like sewing, wood projects, all that kind of stuff as appropriate. We believe that we can trim the fair, removing the concerts, the rides, the shopping, the musicians and entertainers, and hold an event that is solely focused on agriculture and education and is open only to exhibitors, their families, and guests. There are still more details to work out, but we envision that by restructuring the entry, judging, and awards process, we will be able to host an event that is both safe and financially responsible. Much like has been done during the pre-fair livestock shows in the past, we would anticipate stretching out the dates of the livestock competitions to allow for proper distancing and move in and move out of the animals. We would also follow all of the latest guidance, prioritizing seating for family members of exhibitors, sanitizing microphones between any speakers, and working closely with a team who have experience organizing a livestock exhibition with COVID-19 protocols. Right now, we tentatively believe that a fair of this type would begin on July 19th and run through August 8th. That would be our fair dates, July 19th through August 8th, concluding with a modified sale of champions to celebrate the hard work of our young exhibitors. Next, I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about the plans for the 2021 fair. Today, I am recommending to you, the commissioners, that this year the Ohio State Fair be closed to the public as of now, and I'm hoping that changes, and instead focus on agricultural and educational competitions for exhibitors, their families, and guests. I believe this is the best path to protect the long-term viability of the Ohio State Fair, as well as the safety of those involved by limiting the scope significantly and sticking to our roots in agriculture. With that, Ms. Chair, I really mean this when I say that I believe that things are getting a lot better, and I just feel like there's going to be some more follow-up when it comes to who can actually attend. I'm hoping and praying for that we can have more people, but if we can't, we can't. You know, we're going to follow the guidelines that are current when we get there, but we're gauging it as we go. We'll be gauging what we have to do as we go. And but with that, Madam Chair, I recommend that, and if anybody wants to ask any questions, please do.